Hi. How are you, Angel? Go to the hay. Good boy. Approach and retreat is something I learned through Pirelli Natural Horsemanship. When Bodhi first came into the barn, he was hopeless, very anxious, very dancy. I work with volunteers only, so whatever, if you don't want to be here, just bye. And then Rumi, my hard horse, who's just happy to be with me, wherever that is, he came in and spent a lovely time at the yummy second cut hay. And then it was Bodhi going, maybe being in there is actually a really good thing. So when I invited him back in, he doesn't seem to have an issue anymore being in here all by his lonesome self. Eating second cut hay that he really doesn't need. Patience is something a visionary leader has a ton of. Because they understand that if you take your time, it takes less time. It's funny how that works. When you go about it like you have all day, it takes you an hour. When you go about it like you barely have an hour, it takes you all day. Another one that I learned through Pirelli Natural Horsemanship, I don't think it's Pirelli that said it first, but so what? I learned it through Pirelli. It's been a while since I last had my horses in the barn, any barn. Man, it's shedding season, all right. And I have spent absolutely zero time training my horses since I came here. Absolutely zero. I have not spent a minute training my horses since I moved them here in whatever, August somewhere. Because I was otherwise occupied. Occupied with keeping my receipts and documenting everything that was going on here in preparation for bringing it to our lawyer. And it was a lot. And it's all on YouTube. Except for a little gap between the end of September and I guess the end of March. But in that time I went to Europe. In that time I was also mostly editing. So yeah, I filmed some stuff, but not a lot. So I'm sure that once I go back to editing September, the end of September to the end of March, catching up to real time, it will go pretty quick, I expect. Still quite a few really good scenes though that I know and remember because it's not that long ago. And some storylines that I want to wrap up. Once I have a good pass over my footage, then I will go back and take my now edited down footage and start building my storylines. And this is where it really gets interesting, or so I hope. I'm finding actual dreads in Bodhi's mane. And for those who know me, I'm obsessed with my horse's mane and tail. So, I'm not a happy camper. But hey, my priority was documenting our life here. Especially when we realized that that documentation might come in handy. It was our way of practicing judicial hygiene and keeping all our receipts like our lawyer told us. When we called him, I think it was already in August that we realized, like, this is likely going to go to court. And from there on, we just observed, we learned, we waited until we had figured out who was who in the zoo, and also not only had figured that out, but also had confirmed that in extensive email exchanges between all the parties. So from here on, it's going to be a piece of cake. A piece of judicial cake. And in their arrogance, all the players in this organization started making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Sloppy, 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 sloppy. Unbelievable. Contradicting themselves, contradicting others. Just amateurs. Absolute amateurs. And all by email, by text, verifiable. Continuous shifting narratives, aka lies. And then with this latest really dumb move of threatening us with a defamation lawsuit, they really showed their entire hand, and we have a very, very good case for malicious intent and at the very least acting in bad faith. And then lumping in that, oh, and by the way, now you're on the hook for the entire lease again, was also really dumb, because that gives away their motive. So all this jerking around, and then getting us stuck in the middle of a pandemic was designed so that you could stick us with the lease anyway? Oh boy. And so transparent and all lumped together in one email. Unbelievable. But that's the level of arrogance and sloppiness and plain old incompetence that runs very deep in this organization, as we learned. Unfortunately. It's not why we came here, to have to kind of dissect this organization, but we had to because we needed to prepare our case. We needed to understand where all of this bullshit was coming from. Was this just staff screwing over their employer because he wasn't paying attention? Or, as we found out, everything was happening here at the absolute order and direction of the landlord. Why? God knows. Because it's certainly not serving his highest good as far as I can tell, but hey. Okay, sweetie, I want you out and I want Sky back in. Wait, let me get Bodhi out of here first. Come on. Out. Get out. Out. boy. That's a good boy. Okay, Sky. What a good girl. There you go. Good. That's a good girl. So here I stepped back before she got restless again. And shedding season. The beauty of the Kofifi faith is that you don't even need to believe in a deity. You don't need to believe in a whatever. Some magical presence in the sky. You just need to have faith in goodness. Goodness that you can experience inside of yourself and that you can witness and experience in others. All you need is faith in unity, the understanding that we're in this together, that we're all on this planet together, that we all breathe the same air and the same quality of air, therefore we're all in this together. All you need is faith in justice, and therefore the belief that it's worth striving for justice. You're okay, sweetie. You're okay. There. You are okay. And all you need is faith in choice and the understanding that you can make a choice and that your choice has consequences. Sometimes it has good consequences, intended good consequences, and sometimes your choices have bad consequences, perhaps non-intended consequences, but consequences nevertheless. Faith in choice also means the understanding that you can always make another choice, and another choice, and another choice, moment to moment to moment. And it's never too late to make a better choice. A choice, perhaps, that leads to an outcome that you desire. What a good girl. Yeah, what a good girl. Sorry, I'm static. I'm zapping her. Even her mane is very static. Look at that. Look at your mane, all staticky. Sweetie, you know what? Let's call it a day. Come on. Get out of here. Come on. Good girl. Good boy. Ah, she's a good lad. Good girl.